I really wanted this book to be people centric. So I really tried writing a lot of entries that were surrounded around people. And you'll see a lot of those throughout the book. The book was majority that, but I had to rewrite a lot of it because it wasn't really what my publisher was looking for exactly. They wanted a little bit more diversity. But the people who did make it in there, their stories are really, really important because they help build the community and build the culture of the city.
Hello, I'm Derek Cash with the North Little Rock Public Library System and want to welcome you to Meet the Author. Joining us today is Arkansas-based journalist and lifelong tourist of hot springs, Cassidy Kendall, to share and guide us through her book, Secret Hot Springs, a guide to the weird, wonderful, and obscure. Thank you for joining us today. And Cassidy, thank you for being on this program.
Yeah, thank y'all so much for having me. I'm really excited. And I'm really excited to talk about Secret Hot Springs and let people get to know it a little bit more.
Okay, good, good. Then why don't we just get started? I'll just ask you to introduce the audience. Tell us a little bit about Hot Springs.
Yeah, so Hot Springs is a place located in central Arkansas, a little bit south. It is a popular vacation destination for a lot of people in southern and central Arkansas. And it is just a very eclectic, unique place. It's good for vacation, for fun with its lakes and everything, but it has this amazing history that is just very, interesting and quirky and kind of out of this world and unbelievable. And somebody could write a lot of books on it, and a lot of books have been written on it for good reason. So, yeah.
Okay. To let the audience know, the, I don't want to use the word encyclopedia because it makes it sound like it's academic and dry, but it's a lot of short stories, 2, 3 pages maybe, of different topics on hot springs, to let the readers know about that. How did you come up with the topics you were going to put in your book?
Yeah, so the premise is Secret Hot Springs. So it was really fun being able to come up with the topics because you're just kind of driving around the town. I lived in Hot Springs at the time.
Hmm.
And you're just kind of driving around the town and you always see something like, I wonder what that is. I wonder what that is. And I had a reason to say, I wonder what that is. Let me go figure it out. So it was a lot of boots on the ground work. It was a mixture of just like my own observation. I had a friend who worked at the local newspaper from the 80s to the 2020s. And so like I was able to ask him about some more modern, like quirky things that happened. And then the Historical Society was a fantastic resource as well, because they really helped me to dive deeper into the 1800s, early 1900s, stuff like that. I really wanted this book to be people centric. So I really tried writing a lot of entries that were surrounded around people. And you'll see a lot of those throughout the book. The book was majority that, but I had to rewrite a lot of it because it wasn't really what my publisher was looking for exactly. They wanted a little bit more diversity. But the people who did make it in there, their stories are really, really important because they help build the community and build the culture of the city.
Well, I can amen that. I mean, it's a large variety and something that just popped into my mind as you were describing it. This book is great for photography, color
Oh,
photography.
yeah.
It really makes it wonder what that looked like. Oh, there's a picture. Or who does that person? And so you did a great job. Thank you. Thank I guess your editor or whatever, but thank you for giving
Yeah.
good color photography as well. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, that's all thanks to my publisher, Reedy Press. Secret Hot Springs is actually part of a secret series. So there is a secret, I don't know for certain, but let's say, for example, Secret San Francisco, Secret Austin, Texas.
Oh,
So
okay.
Nil Hot Springs has its own. But one of the exciting things about the secret series for all the authors is that it was colored photography, and that gets everyone so
Mhm.
excited. So thank
Mhm.
you for complimenting that.
Yeah. And something along those same lines, because you've got such a wide variety of topics. For the person who buys this book, and let's hope they buy it, that if they get onto one, 2 or 3 page topic they don't like, they can always go to the next one because not necessarily everyone's going to be interested in every single solitary thing you write about in the book, but because there's so much variety, it's got to whet everyone's appetite to read several of the things that you wrote about. So I think you hit spot on a good way to write about hot springs.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Definitely for
Okay.
the short form reader.
Okay, yes. Having said that, though, let's then segue to some of the topics I found interesting. I'll start off with Mahmoud Tadlock. Talk about him a little bit, and then I've got a follow-up question I'll ask if you don't answer it when you talk about him.
Okay, yeah. So I actually did not know Matthew. I only know Hayden, the current owner of
Mhm.
Mammoose, and I knew the story through Hayden. I yeah, so I can't really say much on behalf of Matthew.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I
But
was very sorry. I was very fortunate to be able to tell his story. That was one of the more people-centric entries I was talking about.
yes, I guess the point I want to bring up is also is that he died at such a young age. Did his have his parents read the book? Have they made any comments about what you wrote about him and what did they think?
Yeah, I haven't heard from his parents on it, but
Okay.
I would be very interested to know like if they have been able to read it and what they thought of it.
Mm.
I hope they can look at it as a way of like really showing the story behind this very because Van Moods is very popular. It's become a staple in downtown Hot Springs. So not a lot of people do know that backstory. So just a way to present a promotion of this business with Matthew's face being on it.
Okay, yes. In case the audience doesn't know, Mamou's is an ice cream shop. And so it just, after reading it, it kind of didn't necessarily break my heart, but it is a sad story about his life. So thank you for bringing that up. Um, Another person I want to bring up was, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, I want to say Longhua Shu. Could you talk
Yeah, long
about
lost
him?
shoe.
Yeah, talk about him if you're willing, for a little bit, because I think the audience would find him interesting.
Yeah, so Long Shu is an internationally renowned artist. He moved to Hot Springs in, I think, 1989, if I'm not mistaken, from Shanghai, China.
Hmm.
He got over here actually on an artist residency, which is pretty unique. It means you can pass by all of the legal requirements for like your green card and stuff, and you can be here as an artist in residence. So it's like a very good honor and he was able to do that, which is incredible. And he has given so much art to the community of Hot Springs with his time here, him and his wife. And there is a statue downtown that is called Mother Nature, and it's a white statue made out of what looks like concrete. And it's a woman pouring a vase of water, and so it's has a water feature with it, and it has animals around her. And then another statue that just recently got unveiled in Hot Springs is the Visitor. I believe that's the correct name of it, the Visitor. But it is a Native American woman on a horse, and it pays homage to a lot of the Native American history there in Hot Springs, and it's gorgeous. If you haven't seen it, it's right over there in Whittington Park or Plaza, sorry,
Okay.
in front of the Army Navy Hospital.
Okay. Well, I thought it was a good story about him because in a way it demonstrated that he had adapted to America and embraced and loved America, and that Hot Springs welcomed him and that he felt comfortable staying there. And so I was so glad to read about that because it's nice to hear about an immigrant who becomes a very great success. And so thank you for writing about him.
Yeah, well, Longwall, actually, I'm thankful enough to be able to call him a really close friend of mine. So we've
Uh-huh.
had many talks, and I have asked him about that before, and he said Shanghai was just so dangerous back then. So
Uh-huh.
he was like, they really wanted to be here, and they were very like grateful for that
Uh-huh.
opportunity. And his history in Hot Springs is just phenomenal.
Okay. Well, congratulations to him. Okay. Now, in your book, you talk about I want to say Toller Williams shootout. And could you discuss that? Because that's something that's more historical and you're not going to necessarily see like a building or something like that. If you could tell the audience, the people, the viewers, a little bit about that incident.
Yeah, so the in my book it's called Cops versus Sheriffs. At the time, this was one of the most renowned bloodshed events in history.
Mm-hmm.
And it killed, I think, 6 people. but it was the cops versus the sheriffs of Hot Springs. This goes into a very long history of politics in Hot Springs, illegal gambling. It's all in the book. I won't tell you it now to keep a long story short, but
Okay.
there was an incident where the cops and the sheriffs were angry with each other. They had some tension because of politics going on. It's all who has control of the sheriff's office, who has control of the police department. And there ended up being a shootout. And without trying not to look at it, I believe 6 people died. And yeah, I can't remember the specifics, but I can grab the book if you want me to check it out.
Okay.
But this was definitely one of the stories that I had heard about for so long in Hot Springs. And it's really on brand with Hot
I think
Springs
it's
being
page
insane.
38.
38, thank
Yeah.
you. So yeah, here we have cops versus sheriffs. Um, it happened on March 16th, 1899. At the time, it the fatalities triumphed over the infamous gunfight at the OK Corral. It began when one mayoral candidate pledged ongoing tenure to Hot Springs Police Chief Thomas C. Toller, while another assured Garland County Sheriff R.L. Bob Williams a continued role and also offered his brother a position as Chief of Police. But there was a little bit more at stake than just a title. In 1899, gambling was illegal, yet a very lucrative business in Hot Springs, so everyone wanted control of it. Having hands in both city and county law enforcement would be ideal for the Williams brothers. As the political race heated up, so did the tension between the once friendly Toller and Williams. When Williams caught word on March 16th, 1899, of a political caucus held by Toller with the department and favored candidate, weapons were drawn between Williams and his son, an HSPD deputy. No one was hurt, and later in the day, Toller and his deputy arranged for an in person meeting with the Williamses in an effort to make amends. Upon arriving at a saloon on Central Avenue, just north of its intersection with Bridge Street, which is where the St. Patty's Day parade is held, an HSPD captain accused a sheriff's deputy of threatening him. The captain's brother in law, the saloon's bartender, intervened, slashing the deputy's neck. Injured, the deputy fired shots at the bartender, initiating the shootout with members from both agencies involved. Toller, Williams' son, the bartender, and an HSPD sergeant all died. Williams, who showed up moments after the shootout, fatally shot one more member of the HSPD who had just arrived on the scene. And the entire plot twist of the story is Williams and 3 others in his department were charged with unjustifiable homicide, but were all found not guilty.
Guilty.
And then sorry.
No, I'm continue.
Oh,
Yeah.
Williams went on to serve a total of 9 terms as sheriff after the incident.
Yes, it's a fascinating story that I'm unlike the shootout at with Wyatt Earp and the OK Corral, whatever, I'm glad you brought this up because I'd never heard of it. So thank you for bringing that up. Yes.
And it's right here an hour down the road from us.
Yes, yes. Now, to go flip-flop to a totally different subject, you talk about Gizmo the clown, and then I want to ask, who is he? But why do you like clowns? A lot of people don't like them.
Yeah, so I actually love clowns. I think clowns are a great inviting social force among
Hmm.
crowds. I think every party should have a clown. I
Hmm.
think every street should have a clown. I just think clowns are so fun as long as they're respectful and not too annoying, but they're just goofy. And Gizmo is respectful and not annoying, and he's goofy and fun, and he'll sing and make balloon animals for you. I've walked down there a million times with my niece, and he makes her smile every time. So yeah, Gizmo the clown is the clown of Hot Springs. He is a guy who dresses up as a clown on his off days or on the weekend and has for years at this point, and just clowns around the streets of downtown Hot Springs.
I'm hoping the next time I'm there, I will get to see him because he just sounds like a remarkable person. Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely is. And I really hope that the book has brought him a little bit more
Oh,
recognition.
okay.
I
All
heard
right.
somebody came up to him the other day and had him sign his section.
Oh, how interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Towards the end of your book, you talk about the burnt quartz, which is in the Smithsonian Institution now. I found that incredibly remarkable. Could you talk about that briefly?
Yeah, so actually, right before this interview, I had messaged one of the people who manage over at Ron Coleman
Mm-hmm.
to send me a few, like, just facts about it.
Okay.
So, the Burns quartz is an 8 foot tall by 6 foot wide piece of quartz that was
Mm-hmm.
grown in Jessieville, Arkansas, which is right outside of Hot Springs. The unearthing took 2 weeks of planning. It estimated to weigh 8,000 pounds. And the uniqueness is the size and it has thick needle points. It took 13 hours to install it in the Smithsonian. The Burns quartz
Wow.
is in the Smithsonian today,
Okay.
a piece of Arkansas quartz.
Okay, wow. And even though it's there, I think it still qualifies to be in within your book because it was discovered there. So yes, but I just found it remarkable because I've never seen quartz that big. I never think of it that big, and so I'm glad that was put in the book too, especially as it's in Washington now and not still in Hot Springs. Yeah.
Yeah, and there are only two places in the US where quartz grows naturally. And we are one of the places. So Ron Coleman is a place where you can go and dig for your own quartz, which
Hmm.
is makes it a really popular tourist destination.
Okay. Something in your book that I found I would have never thought about. You talk about the temperature of the water and sort of allude to the possibility of climate change affecting it. Do experts anticipate that there's anything to worry about in the near future?
So it depends on how directly impacted you would consider the water.
Okay.
And by that I mean, are you asking, is climate change going to change the temperature of the water, or is climate change going to affect the water's environment that could indirectly affect the
I'll
water?
leave it up to anything however you want to interpret that question. Yeah, that's just
Yeah,
because you talk about it in the book. Yeah,
right.
a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really important for me to include that piece in there because I had done the interview with a park scientist a few years beforehand. And so I had some of that left over in my brain of like, oh, this would be a good thing to include. So, climate change, a lot of people ask the question thinking about the water's temperature. That was my original question that I'd
Hmm.
asked the scientists, thinking, because if the water goes below 143 degrees, it's no longer safe to drink. It's no longer safe to bathe in. And then that's
Oh, okay.
all of hot springs tourism. So, about the water, things with climate change that could affect it are the environment being more dry and then a wildfire happening. The
Ah.
wildfire happens, then it could contaminate the water. If an invasive species of bugs were to, populate there due to climate change, I'm not a climate scientist,
Mhm.
so I don't want to like go too far into it
Okay.
because
Hmm.
I'll get to talking about things I don't know what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
But yeah, more about the environment surrounding it is the biggest concern with climate change, I
Okay.
would
All
say.
right. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just have to kind of just wait to see sort of thing and just listen to what the experts say annually or whatever they say. Okay. All right. Cassie, I'm just curious. I've kind of talked about things uh, on an eclectic, things that caught my eye. Was there anything that was a favorite topic with you? Did something catch you by surprise that we haven't discussed?
Let me flip through the book here. I mean, I learned so much more than I already knew about hot springs
Uh-huh.
when collecting topics for this book. Um, Here, things that may have caught me by surprise besides everything.
Yeah.
So there was this thing, this was discovered a few years prior to the book's publishing, but there was this thing called the doll test in the Brown versus Board of Education case that eventually desegregated schools. What the doll test is a psychologist said, you know, took these kids, black and white kids, and then gave them baby dolls, black and white baby dolls. They looked the exact same, identical, just different skin color. And then asked them to give traits to these baby dolls. All of the white baby dolls by white and black kids got positive traits. All of the black baby dolls by white and black kids got negative traits. And this went to show how negatively segregated schools were impacting children psychologically. And it was like very key to the case. And obviously, schools became desegregated afterward. The psychologist who did the doll test was from Hot Springs and actually
Ah,
graduated in Hot Springs or at Langston High, that was
okay.
the black school of Hot Springs. So that was
Okay.
really,
Okay.
really cool.
It is. It really is. Okay. All right. If people, Cassidy, want to buy your book, uh, where can they buy the book?
Yeah. So if you want to buy my book online, my website is kendallcom.com. That's KENDALLCOMM.com.
Hmm.
I have a storefront on there for both Secret Hot Springs and my first book I wrote, 100 Things to Do in Hot Springs Before You Die. And then if you want to buy it in person in Hot Springs, two bookstores that sell it are the Electric Strawberry and Black Ribbon Books.
Okay.
And I have signed copies there at both of those stores.
Mhm.
So yeah, pick it up in store, or again, if you want to do it online, check out my website.
Okay. All right. Oh, and one, you said 100 things you must do. One of those should be to read your book.
It should, yeah. If only
Okay.
I'd written that one second.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, it has been a pleasure, Cassidy. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Yeah, thank you so
Okay,
much for having me.
okay. Well, thank you for joining us today. If you're interested in reading Secret Hot Springs, you can check it out from the library or purchase it wherever books are sold. Also, you can find more information at readypress.com or at our website, nlrlibrary.org. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Yes, uh-huh.